Hello there, Scorpio. Thanks for joining me in this moment in space and time here at this little YouTube channel. Once again at Northern Rad Tarot, where we're always breaking the rules of tarot. We're just getting to the heart of the matter, and what matters is the heart, right? That's kind of why we're here, why I'm doing it, just to connect with you in the infinite universe's moments that it has to present to you in all space and time. We're kind of here collectively on the rocks. So, a lot of you can identify with Scorpio in many different ways. Your sun, your moon, your ascendant sign. You could be cross-watching. Maybe you were born on a cusp. Don't forget to check out the cusp readings that are coming out as well. Okay, we shuffled up. The first card was Wisdom for Scorpio. And you guys have pulled message 15, Message in a Bottle. And this is an interesting one to have, Scorpio. When you see this card come up, and look at all the water. Look at the message in the bottle usually has to travel over vast amounts of water. So you may find that you might be like spending a lot of time in your emotions and how it relates to like how you mentally perceive your own emotional processes at these times. It's like thoughts invoke feelings and vice versa. Feelings will invoke thoughts. And there's lots of balance to be found there. See how the little birdies, he's perched up there on the tip of the bottle and it's kind of like wavering and balancing. So whatever the message is coming through, I feel that the receptivity of this message is going to be the big part of it. Now the bottle, the symbology of the bottle at this time is some of you may be feeling, even a little bit tempted to imbibe, to like, take the edge off with a couple drinks. And I mean, anything in moderation, as you well know, Scorpio, moderation being the key to it all, right? Go ahead and enjoy, like, uncover what might be lying in the subconscious. And if it takes a glass of wine or two, that's okay. If you want to do the more healthy route and get into some meditations and try and like feel like look in intuitively, like get in touch with your feelings. There's going to be a lot going on there. So the wisdom is saying it could be an emotional time for you here in October, Scorpio, but it is presents itself in a way that you are going to be able to uncover like deeper understandings of self, all right, and sort of maybe bring some things to light. And by that I mean it's like kind of dragging skeletons out of the closet, even just to like air them out. And maybe that's a Halloween theme-ish thing, I don't know, but like kind of the metaphor in that, or the analogy in that is like whatever you haven't like attended to for a long time, maybe calling for attention as well. It may be wise to visit the things that maybe you've been putting off, or like yeah, something to that effect. Okay, now we're going to consult the magical compass for our direction. These oracle cards by Colette Baron Reed, these are going to be your signifiers for the general readings, and as well for the cusp and the mini romance and relationship readings that I'm going to be adding in the month. So these are kind of like what we can intuit from these cards is going to like, we're going to be relating back to them. All right, so for direction, you guys have pulled card number 2, the Gentle Gardener. And this is an excellent card to have. This is kind of like you guys, I feel, being your own rock, your own island. Like, even though you may be dealing with things on an emotional level, it's not like outward spurts of emotion. It's like you're more calm and reserved, I feel, going into October, especially if you are like doing your inner work and calming your mind at the end of each day, or maybe at the beginning of each day, whichever is good for you. This card is saying keep doing that, or if not, get into that, and you will find that you will become sort of like the pillar of stability in your surroundings, if not even just for yourself. Could be for your family, could be for your co-workers, or in a loving relationship as well. The Gentle Gardener always knows when to leave plants and to leave seeds alone so that they can develop naturally without the gardener's control. Like the gardener can only do so much, and then it's up to the other life form to sort of take on its own shape and to grow in its own space and time. And no matter, if the gardener was not gentle and the gardener was OCD, maybe the gardener would do more damage to the idea or whatever it's trying to manifest when it is in its very subtle states. Okay, so the direction, know when to leave well enough alone. Okay, guys, in certain situations, and in other situations, keep doing your inner work. And even it's a good time to go deeper, to delve deeper. If you've maybe been doing 5-minute meditation, maybe it's time to go 10. If you do a half hour, double up, go double down. Maybe see if you can stretch it to 45 an hour and see where that kind of takes you, or what that opens you up to. All right, that's kind of heavy stuff. Let's bring it back to the surface. Let's get shallow for a little while, Scorpio, when we talk about water. We're going to do the Celtic Cross with the Gilded Tarot. This is kind of like anybody with two eyes and a mouthful of words could give you this tarot reading, because we're just kind of looking at the cards. We're keeping it very general because, there's a lot of people that were born under the sign of Scorpio. It doesn't make you any less special, but at the same time, it's like when I say it's shallow in general, it means this is kind of more like looking at what like little Timmy or Johnny or Susie down the street is doing. This isn't for more like, wanting to wake up, wanting to go into healing. This is what Scorpio needs to know for October 2017 on the mundane level. Okay, there we go. Tarot is ready, is bumping. It knows when it's done. Like I said, I break all the rules of tarot. So if you're mad over the way I put the cards out, the way I flip the cards, I'm sorry. It's not going to change. Okay, it's this the way it goes. I do like adhere to some certain things. Like we'll keep the Celtic Cross as true as possible, and we'll look at the bottom of the deck to see what's going on and sort of the undercurrents. Overall, okay, Knight of Swords. Now, this feeling here that I have is like this thought process and thoughts, the way it pertains to feelings, like we see in this. You guys are kind of moving through this. You guys are kind of like establishing how you are reactive in an emotional and in an analytical sense, okay? The Knight of Swords is someone as well that is trying to become a better communicator, progressively get better at many facets of life that require like coordination and intellect and things like that. So you may find yourself kind of on a personal journey of embetterment and self-empowerment at this time. Others of you are dealing with a air sign, a Gemini, a Libra, or an Aquarius. Could be younger to middle age, somebody that might be opposing you, or that could be delivering this message to you, okay, whatever this message involved means to you as you set your intention. Okay, let's have a look. Let's see what the querent card is up here. Ooh, the Page of Cups. All right, it's so serious for the theme here, Scorpio. Emotions, and like, do we even know what we're feeling? The Page of Cups, we've already talked about, we've already discussed it. This is where you guys are at, and it's like, it doesn't mean that it's young or naive or whatever. It's just like something may have come along. It could have even been a new relationship. See the single solitary cup that the page holds is like the ace. It signifies somebody could have come along, got you off your game, or maybe got you thinking like, wow, I haven't had these feelings for a long time. Or if ever before, if you are younger and you are watching this, you may be, being enveloped in some certain emotional context that is brand new to you. It's kind of like, for a lot of you, you will be thinking back to this time where like maybe you first, felt like anguish or loss in your life, and then or you the first time you grieved maybe at a very young age, and then it's like it woke you up to like you becoming very fundamentally sound in your feelings, because things could always be like worse, or I could be feeling, am I overreacting? When you are, where your limits are. So something could have come along to make you like push these boundaries or question that again. Okay, crossed by the Two of Swords, Scorpio. You could be blinded by somebody. You could be really wanting to know what somebody else is thinking and feeling about towards you at this time. Hopefully not too much going on, like you guys being overly self-conscious. No need for that. I feel as though Scorpio confidence is kind of like ebb and flow for you guys right now. It's like sometimes you wake up in the morning and you got it. You just like, wow, you're walking with that swagger, you got it going on, and then another 48 hours go by and you get out of bed again and you're just like, oh my goodness, like not maybe feeling up to the challenge or worthy of your blessings or whatever it might be for you, and you could be questioning some of that. All right, but on a mundane level, you could be just challenged by a decision that you have to make over a relationship because you're not sure the way you're feeling right now. Okay, that's what I got on a mundane level. All right, let's see what's crowning it. Why is it? Okay, is there some sort of economic difference between you and a potential lover? Is this kind of a situation where it's like, is somebody bringing home all the bacon, or is somebody feeling like a possession to another instead of an equal partner? Okay, with Ten of Pentacles in reverse, it almost feels like there could be some sort of like domestic upheaval or some sort of like extra money going out for something maybe you hadn't budgeted for maybe an insurance claim, or budgeted maybe for, the new work gear or whatever it might be. So maybe your speeding tickets, if you're always headed down the interstate at Mach chickadee, it's like whatever's come along here might have you off your game. But this to be in the crowning situation, it's almost as if you're kind of like fitting things into your life at this present time. Whatever it is that you're challenged with or you're going through, you're feeling like, how does this fit into my life? What is it there to teach me? What is it supposed to? What kind of message is it meant to be sending? Okay, and that just means like just acknowledge it, leave it alone, come back to it. It will reveal itself in time. Okay. Coming through from the past, Two of Pentacles reverse. So you've recently increased your focus on somebody or something, and you're continuing that. It's like a more narrowed focus, but yet you're still having to feel like there are certain responsibilities that are kind of like your foot is chained to them almost, or it's like you're pulling them along with a heavy rope, and it's like it's more of like a metaphor for like your responsibilities that you're trying to break free from because of a new idea, because of a new thing that has gotten your attention, has gotten your focus. And it's pentacle surrounded, so it's opportunity, it's wealth and abundance and things of that nature, okay, that could be coming through. As well, for some of you, there could just be like new time schedules, new like things maybe with kids in school, maybe you're starting work at a different time and it's like a bit of a larger adjustment, and maybe you're tired at times of the day where you weren't used to being tired before, and then you watch a little commercial about kitties and puppies and SPCA, and the next thing you know you're crying in tears and all you can think about is eating a bucket of ice cream. I get it, Scorpio, you're an emotional sign, and it's okay to let them flow. It really is. Wow, in the foundation, more pentacles. So what, is it like raining money on you guys? Are you guys like, have you uncovered some new ability or some hidden ability, something you haven't dealt with in a long time that's like come to the surface, and now you're maximizing your potentials? This is all about potentials being recognized and then acted upon and then maximized. You guys are like kind of like models of efficiency when it comes to the daily grind or daily living right now, and even showing others, making others aware. With the Eight of Pentacles, it's like there is progression here. There's like showing off your abilities, each time being a little bit better than the last, sort of thing. And if that is in your foundation, you're letting your work speak for yourself. So if that's something you're creating or just your performance at your 9 to 5, whatever it is, like gentle answers, gentle words, and let the work stand for itself kind of thing, okay? It's a really good card to see here. Goodness gracious, now we have a King of Pentacles reversed in your near future. So I feel there could be some crossover with Libra. If you're a Libra Scorpio cusp, please check out the other ones and the cusp readings. Some of these cards are just like kind of coming up in like eerily weird kind of back-to-back situations. And I gave them a good shuffle. So I was just like, wow. To see this King of Swords here, I don't know why I'm feeling Libra. Typically, this would be your Capricorns, your Virgos, and your Tauruses. And this, especially if this person is Taurus or Capricorn here in October and you're bound to them, Scorpio, I would want you to recognize that this person might be having a tough time. Hopefully, they're not taking out too much of their stuff on you, but it's almost like somebody's crying for help here from one of these earth signs, Taurus or Capricorn, or you really can see them struggling, or they are really disillusioned at this time. If we want to look back to the positioning of the court cards minus this, it's almost like somebody might have gone too far and maybe have like treaded a little too heavily on your heart, and then you took it back because you're a Scorpio and you're like, nope, you don't do that to me. And they're like, whoa, whoops, sorry, oh my goodness, is it too late kind of thing. So your path might have been crossed by an earth sign at this time, or as well, there may be an air sign that is challenging you, and you're just kind of wanting to like, not really like rub it in your face, but at the same time, you want to be like, tell them like, tread lightly around me, because you don't know what you're dealing with here in Scorpio. Maybe for younger viewers, again, I'm feeling this, okay? Now, in your environment, you've got the Five of Pentacles, okay? So there could be some social exclusion still going on at this time, Scorpio, just due to certain eccentricities that you possess, or a certain je ne sais quoi of like awesomeness that, just permeates from you, can often lead to Five of Pentacles in your environment. If you are struggling with money, if something's going on here, or maybe you played the market and you lost, or maybe you've had to start a new job but you've taken a pay cut and all it is nose to the grindstone right now, back into old disciplines, don't be too worried about it. You know how to be practical. You know how to get things done and financial things planned. Just be very disciplined. Make sure you're not drinking again too much. For somebody, that's a heavy message. You'll let the moderation come and take hold, and let that part of aspect of this sign really permeate through for you, okay? But again, it's just more pentacles, which means I feel a lot of you are dealing with earth signs at this time that could be opposing you, or that could be, helping you along. And if you want to look at this on a very material plane, it's kind of like maybe there's not enough hours in the day for some of you. And for a lot of you, it's like trying to make things better, trying to make more of what you've got. We don't see the Page of Pentacles here, but we have enough stinking pentacles to just call the page on the phone and be like, "What up, guy? What are we doing? Like, are we got enough lottery tickets? Do we have enough small businesses on the go plus our 9 to 5 here? What's going on?" All right. So anyway, sorry. Up here in your best path to follow, you've got the Eight of Cups, okay? So, yeah, you've understood, you've tasted some of the finer things that have gone on, that your life has brought you to certain sort of plateaus and junctures and different crossroads at certain times, almost like chapters in a book. When they close and the new one begins, it's almost like you have to take that moment to process what has just gone on, whether that's just in the first 9 months that have gone on so far this year, or maybe it is for the last couple years, the bigger changes that you're going through. Now remember, this month, everybody's on about Jupiter coming into your sign. It's very true. I would hope that all of you will take a minute not to just be like, woohoo, go us, or good fortune to us, but take a minute to be like, what am I going to do with this opportunity that comes around once every dozen years or so? Because it's not like blessings are going to shower down on you. Like maybe for some of you, money-wise, it will. But for a lot of you, it's more so like recognizing how benevolent and how amazing having Jupiter in your sign really is. And that, as always, the onus comes back to your inner self, your higher self, to make the best choices, to use moderation, to use your talents, to balance your life, and to balance your health and things like that. And when you're in recognition that you're ready to proceed forward, then you can do so, and these blessings will come in a lot easier, Scorpio, because I feel like a lot of you have come through so much healing in the last little while that if you don't take those moments to acknowledge what you're going to do, or in gratitude of thankfully that, I finally gave myself a kick in the butt, or the universe sort of gave me an open doorway to go through, and I'm really appreciative of that. Those blessings, it's almost like when Jupiter leaves your sign, nobody really talks about that, right? Like nobody's like, oh, poor you, Libra, Jupiter is leaving your sign. But yet maybe you look at a Libra, you look at somebody that's just gone through having Jupiter in the sign, and as it's leaving, maybe you're noticing they're a little more despondent, that Libra in your life, or they're a little bit confused now, or like something to that effect. So always take that moment. Plant these seeds now so that in a year's time you can say, oh my goodness, like I made it happen. Jeez Louise, look at this, more pentacles. Let's count them. We got 10, we got 12, we got 13. No, sorry, that was a cup. We got 13 and we got 8, that's 21, there's 26, and another 7 is like 35 pentacles so far. Oh my goodness. So this is coming up in your hopes and fears. So maybe for some of you, that this is like more like midlife stuff. I feel like hopes and fears, or maybe it is just a hope. If fear is just illusion. That it's enough money, or that the path you're on is going to be enough to provide for future generations to come. It's almost like I feel you guys are gathering in, physical assets even, tallying up the books almost, and it's like you're hoping like, oh, maybe you're hoping to be retired by the age of like 50 instead of 60, or maybe you're saying, okay, I've got 3 kids and 6 grandkids now. Let me look at what I have all around me to make sure that it's going to be enough, and how others, are approaching me when it comes to situations where money is a factor and those sorts of things. So don't be afraid of not having enough. Just be afraid of not setting your intention early enough so that you know that if you kind of get on the get on the bus of good fortune, that you'll know like when your stop is, or when it's like, okay, karmically it's like, wow, we've been blessed, we're going to do good with Jupiter in our sign, and the hope is that we can make money. Remember, the onus is on you. There's got to be action that's required, Scorpio, okay? Now, in the overall, this is like the outcome should things not change. And this shows you becoming a little bit more open. So for a lot of you, maybe this confidence ebb and flow thing that we were speaking of earlier, it's like you're more willing to be yourself. Once you've done this inner work of getting in touch with like how thoughts trigger emotions and emotions are triggering thoughts in certain situations, and now you're able to see the bigger picture a lot more clearly with this Seven of Wands, and it's almost like anybody that comes up against you, you know, is only seeing half the side of the coin or half the picture. So you may have some like pity or empathy for people's narrow points of view as it comes through, right? But just make sure that you treat everybody with that little touch of grace so that you're not incurring any sort of like, bad luck or bad karma, things like that, okay? Wow. Cool Monday reading, Scorpio. It got a little deep. It got a little heavy. Like, it didn't really stay surface level like I thought it would. But it's like, that's kind of just what's going on, all right? So, yeah, there wasn't too much I didn't see about, like, there was some relationship stuff. I guess you could say that was like, but it had the feeling of like, it left you like kind of not knowing what to think or where to go. So it's like, just go with this gentle gardener. Just leave it be. Give people in your environment enough room to either like tie a solid bond with you or to tie their own rope. The choice is kind of theirs at this time, I feel. Okay, Scorpio, and that's just kind of what's going on. All right. So we've got one card out. Oh, and there's another one. We're going to take a quick look at the chakras. We're going to take a quick look at our higher healing and our higher energy levels and frequencies here, Scorpio, before I let you go at the end of the reading. These is my favorite thing, just to kind of give you guys a little insight of what some of you might be feeling. And again, these are general readings, so if stuff doesn't apply to you, it's like, you know what, just kind of kick it to the curb, as one of my favorite readers always says, or take it out, just ignore it, right? That sort of thing. But for some of you, it's like, it can resonate on so many different levels. It can resonate based on your attention. It can resonate based on your, like, we'll take that. It's just like bottom of the deck wanted to be there. Dropped right out of the sky, just like things do, kind of onto the crown chakra. Okay, so in the root chakra, you guys have pulled card number 5, the Father. Now, when we see this card, we have to look at these analytical processes. I just took this card down, but it's very resonant with this card, because it's like going about things effectively or doing things the right way. It's like walking the walk, so to speak. You're going to be, I find yourself probably not being very responsive or receptive to, like, when other people are like full of themselves or full of baloney. It's like you may either be quick to just leave the situation or walk out on that situation, much like a father would do with a child. They would call them out. It's like, you're acting too silly, or that doesn't make any sense, or could you please step in line, right? That sort of thing. This showing up in your root chakra, it's almost like you guys are kind of like the commander-in-chief when it comes to like keeping like the order of like just people staying sane and rational. You'll find with Sun moving into Libra this in October here, and then coming into your sign, people are going to be like very introspective. They're going to be doing a lot of self-reflecting. You're no exception, Scorpio, but it's like you get this work done, I feel like, in 5 minutes, where it takes like some of the other signs, it takes them like 5 weeks to get it done. And like you may find that they just like kind of not really act out in strange weird, but they may say just like weird and funny things. Or some people may be tempted to like hyperbolize or embellish situations around you. And I feel like as though you're just going to be quick to be calling that out, to remaining true in your true self and that sort of thing. So that's really very good. Again, for some of you, this is going to be a situation of sensitive dieting. You may be changing things up or trying to eat a little bit lighter, I feel, as well. Okay? Now, up in your creative centers, wow, this is nice. We've pulled a 6 of water here. So when we see this card, we think that there could be some sort of offering. There could be some sort of remembrance to touch base with somebody. And it's almost like this could be a child, or this could be like someone you created a child with, a long lost, well, not lost, but an ex, maybe somebody that you had raised a family with, and then things maybe ended in divorce and you went away from that person. But there could be like a reconnection coming up, or at least some sort of message that's coming through from this person. Applies to widowers as well. In this, it's like, remain open to that whom you have opened your heart to over the years, because there is some sort of message that's wanting to come through, Scorpio. And it's not really like a lesson, it's not like anything like that. It's just sort of like more benevolent, more like, I understand, like all is forgiven, like something like to that effect is what I'm getting with this. All right, now to see this as well, for some of you, you are going to be getting back into like crafting as well. I see with this card, like you could be like making jewelry or making clothing or something to that effect when it comes to your creative self. So keep up with that, and know that if it's good enough for you, it's good enough for your worst critic. And for every 3 or 4 that you might want to sell, maybe it'd be good to give one to your friend. Okay? That kind of thing. All right. Now, up in the solar plexus chakra, we've pulled the Queen of Air, which is equivalent of the Queen of Swords. So again, what I feel is you may be making certain decisions or discernments regarding air signs in your environment this time. You may be intuitively knowing when to like exit stage left or leave a situation, like without any formal cue. You might just find yourself kind of like in conversation at times, and the next thing you know, you're just like absolutely walking away. And it's like, nobody's getting butthurt over this situation. They just understand that, your tolerance for maybe such goofiness or silliness may just be like not as high. But some of you might find the reverse is true. Some of you might just be like finding yourself acting a little bit silly or wanting to lighten the mood in a room just so that it's not feeling so heavy. The Queen of Swords reverse is like somebody that wants to see like the silver lining in situations, or when the truth hurts, it's like we can always find the pearl in it. We can always find the healing that's come of it. And sometimes all you can do when situations are so weird and oppressive, even, I'm going to say, that you can't do nothing but laugh. And you might be doing this on behalf of another, and you might just be doing it in part for yourself too, okay? Helping others to see that things don't have to be so serious all the time, okay? All right. As we come up into the heart, this is nice to see here. All right, you guys have the 6 of Earth coming down, and this is good to see, because this is somebody that is in control. This is somebody that is like knowing what it is and keeping balance within themselves. And it's almost like somebody that is not wanting to be messed with. All right, we kind of see like this kind of like there's Capricorn overtones to this card, and I feel like that if some of you are involved with Capricorn or even Taurus at this time, there is this balance that's going to have to come down in your relationship with them. You may just have to acknowledge, like, you're having a rough time right now, Steve or Susie. Like, what can I do? Like, how can I help you? Like, remind these people in your life that you love them and that you're there for them, Scorpio, because sometimes it's like, your level of love is deep, and you love them and you're aware of it and they love you, but sometimes your expression can be a little bit like sort of muddled or like left sort of under the rug for a little while. And it's like if it's not acknowledged, if it isn't brought up, some like these earth signs right now, I feel, could like really be questioning or wondering, like, does Scorpio even love me right now, like they said they did, like, or whatever it might be. So this might just be you needing to renew somebody's faith in you, kind of, is the feeling I got. Does that make sense? You are trying to renew somebody else's faith in you. So it's not like they've lost it, but it just might be something where it's like you haven't acknowledged it in quite a while, so you may just find yourself visiting there, okay? Yeah, because here it is. Maybe a simple gift of flowers to lighten a mood in a love situation, in a romance situation. could be coming your way, or you could be doing it, all right? And as well, the ending of the storm. So if there has been bitterness between you and an earth or an air sign at this time, it seems as though it's coming to an end with some sort of resolve and understanding. So, good news, good news. All right, up in communication, look at this. We've got an ace of air. So be honest with yourself, be honest with your others. Let the honesty, let the truth be your talisman, be your guiding light through the month of October. You can actually move mountains. You can kick doors in just with a simple, sort of blurting of the truth. And if the situation sometimes is that weird and adverse, like we were talking about, and you're looking to find that, like, that little bit of laughter, that silver lining in it, sometimes just like a simple truth that nobody else has thought about, you're going to be the one that comes up and says it, and like everyone's going to be like, wow, like, you're right. You're absolutely right. It doesn't have to be so serious. It doesn't have to be so negative, because you know what? Whatever that might be, right? So let the truth work for you. Let your gentle way that you have to like just let the situation evolve on its own. All you want to do is just guide it with little nuggets of truth through the month and whatever you're doing. And you may be doing that to this earth sign here. Just be like, you know what? It's not so bad, because you know what? Whatever your little truth might be. And they just like, it brightens their day, or it lightens them up, kind of thing, right? Okay. Sorry. Now we come up into our third eye, our soul-searching pineal gland. What a great time for meditating. What a great time to do your inner work as we approach like All Hallows Eve and was All Saints Day coming up at the very end of the month. You guys can get a lot of inner work done through this month, I feel. If the cold winds are starting to blow in your geographical area and you're not feeling like maybe doing too much nature, adventuring outside, adventure through the natural forests and landscapes of your mind. You're really being invited or called to come within through meditation and do this work, because you guys are like sort of the Sherpas of the, not really underworld, but, well, Pluto would say Sherpas of the underworld, but you're like more Sherpas of like the spirit realm, so to speak. If there's anyone that can transcend through it to 3D, 5D, bring a load back to 3D, drop it off, invite some more friends, come on back up the mountain, in your mind, it's you guys, right? And if you're wanting to hone or develop those skills, keep at it. It's going to be a good time for you guys to do that. All right, and up in the crown chakra, we've got Queen of Fire, and we've got this Nine of Earth going on right now. So, for a lot of you, it's like there's almost like missionary work being done here. This is singles. This is single people that have maybe even decided like a relationship is not for me. I want to go and give myself to the world. I want to be married to Mother Earth, or I want to have my relationship be with the masses of the people, whatever that might mean. You could be like caring for people that are like, at festivals, or you could be like in a situation where you're just like wanting to do as much as you can for the less fortunate and things of that nature, which is really commendable. Okay, so that's really cool. All right, I had a bit of an inspiration, and I apologize if you're cross-watching in Libra. I didn't do this for Libra, but I've had an opportunity with these cards. Hopefully I can get it to stick, and I don't know how well you guys will be able to see it, but it's like we can kind of like look at the chakras. Look at like if they were all lined up like they would be, and I'll just move the camera if I need to. This is kind of like what it would look like. This is the first time I'm doing this, so if this like feels really weird, bear with me. I'm going to try it for this series of readings because we always read for the chakras. So we start at the root, at the base, and this is how we're looking for color and definition as we move up, right? Look at that truth really coming through there. And it's like inner truth. You see this color, how it comes up and bridges this gap over the heart or whatever you're dealing with this earth sign, all right? And as we get to the crown, we've got purity coming in, and we've got passion coming in at the very top, all right? And a lot of things are transcending. There's a lot of like information being deciphered through the third eye, and it's going to be very important for you guys to do this inner work, all right? Okay, Scorpio, that's what I got for you. I love you all. I don't know if that little lineup of cards made too much sense. You guys are my guinea pigs. I'll try that on you. Well, maybe try it for a few more signs and see how it goes. All right, love you all, and we'll see you next time.